What a game we have here in the City of Churches, Adelaide. They flicked CJ Bruton, the head coach, earlier in the week. Scott Ninnis takes over. And Mitch McCarron, did he give them a serve? Well, Cairns are their opponents who are on the back of a big-time doubleheader. Played up in Cairns on Thursday night. Now they come to Adelaide to face the Sixers. I think it'll be close, so the little win looks the way to go in the big win, little win. And the Sportsbet same game multis, a big one, $8.25. It features DJ Vasiljevic, Jacob Wiley, Tajir McCall and Sam Wardenberg, whose role is regressing. Enjoy the game.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
And the season goes from bad to worse for CJ Bruton and the Sixers. Demolished by 35 points.
If you're getting up at 4 a.m. to go to Christchurch and then you got to turn around and leave at 1 a.m. to get on a plane to get here, trying to get these guys prepped for a game and then to come in here and shoot around and to get a team that's hot and ready. It was always going to be a tough task.
It's poorly done by the NBL in all honesty. I played in college, I played everywhere. This was probably the worst road trip I've had in a long time.
Where do they go from here? All them churches in Adelaide, I'm going in there and beg for forgiveness. I'm sorry for embarrassing myself in the club, in this press conference. I wish I could take that back. If I'm the coach, if I'm CJ, you will not see one basketball at training. Because basketball ain't the problem. It's they ticker. That's the problem. And they got one more chance to come out at home. The next game's at home. They better do some soul searching and resurrect the pride that these people in Adelaide want to have for this team.
Scathing comments, to say the least, from Damon Lowry. DJ, CJ, they were both upset with the travel commitments. Gazy, it seems like when the NBL, they released their statement that it was the fault of the Adelaide 36ers, those flights, those plans. What do you think of players complaining to the media about things?
Well, regardless of who the fault is, there is no doubt it would have had an impact, but not the impact that we saw last weekend. And I think that it was a bad decision to try and use that as an excuse so overtly the way they did. And, they've got some bigger problems rather than just the schedule. But there's no doubt about it. It was a tricky schedule. But, mate, we used to play 3 games on a weekend. Friday night, Saturday night, and then 2 p.m. tip-off on the Sunday with all that travel thrown in. So they get a day off between games, Liam.
Well, no. Well, you're right, they do. And it's not quite the same. But I tell you, they have had an enormous week. Off the back of that, the firing of CJ Bruton, a new coach, the viral comments from Mitch McCarron to his team, and then it all boils down to this game tonight at home in front of your fans.
Amazing that 3 games in a weekend and Lennard still had time to get a couple of nights in at the club as well. Just amazing from the great man. I know you were at home asleep getting ready for the next game. But John Casey caught up with DJ a little bit earlier.
Thanks very much, Felix. I'm here with DJ Vasiljevic. Hectic week for you. Have you come across anything like this in your career so far, the week you've had in Adelaide?
Honestly, no. I think it's a lot of emotional roller coaster right now, and right now we have to put everything behind us and concentrate on Cairns and get this win and kind of turn the new leaf in the Adelaide 36ers history.
Speaking of emotional, Mitch McCarron was at training on Thursday. How did you take his message and the way it was delivered?
I mean, that's what the captain's got to do. He's got to come out and tell us, what we need to hear. And obviously, if getting beat by 35 isn't enough, and obviously what he's had to spray against us, if that doesn't motivate us tonight, I don't know what does really. Scott
Ninnis says he'll make change to the 5 minutes are going to change. What do you think you need to do well tonight?
I got to perform. I think I'm not doing the best I have been, especially the last 2 games. I got to get others involved. We got to get Isaac going. Trey Kell getting back in his rhythm. But obviously, I got to take over a little bit at times. And the most important thing is try and get the win and turn this thing around.
And finally, final's still in the mix. Is that what you're aiming for?
I mean, hey, there's the play-in, right? There's the 5th and 6th spot to play for. Anything can happen. There's 15 games left, and new coach, new era. Let's see if we can do it.
Appreciate your time. Good luck tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, DJ said it himself there. New coach, new era. Now, CJ Bruton sacking, we've spoken on it a couple of times. Absolutely unbelievable player. A lot of coaches have fallen victim to this Adelaide team. It seems like, it's always sad to see a legend of the game go out in that fashion. I mean, 'cause he's one of the most liked guys in the game, but, it's the unfortunate nature of the business. You would know.
Absolutely, and unfortunately for him, it didn't work out. But I feel very disappointed for him because he's a great man, great family. They've had an amazing contribution on the sport. He's won 6 rings as a player, so he certainly knows what it's about. And I guess after you sleep on it a few nights, and hopefully CJ, when he gets through this period, he'll realise that he's a high-quality coach, and he will get other opportunities as they move forward. So a tough moment for him and the Adelaide 36ers.
Yeah, it's not something we see too often. We've seen it twice in the last couple of weeks, an NBL head coach losing his position mid-season, but it doesn't happen typically very often. But the reality is it was year 3 of a 3-year deal. They hadn't made the playoffs. Last year was particularly disappointing with a high-level roster that cost a lot, and they were struggling this season. So not a shock. And now it's the job of the players and Scott Ninnis to try to turn this thing around.
Well, that was the past. Let's move over to the present here. Don't forget, coming up, the Adelaide 36ers taking on the Cairns Taipans. Always, when a team sacks their coach and they come up next, I'll tell you what, they got a dirty little habit of winning those games, whether it be footy, basketball, netball, whatever you want to do. When the coach is out the next time they're around, they seem to put a win on the board, and the fans will certainly be hoping for that. Scott Ninnis, he's been involved in a lot of championships, 2 as an assistant coach, a few as a player. He seems the right guy to be in this interim coach position at the very least.
Well, they've got someone experienced. Now, his experience was quite some time ago. He's been coaching at the NBL1 level as well. He's been the assistant this season. So I think they're fortunate to have him available to coach. It'd be interesting to see how he has evolved as well, and what strategies he's used. You talk about unusual. It is unusual to get fired by a club and then 12 years later come back and get another be the head coach of that same franchise.
That's true. And I think he's a club legend, which helps. And I think he has a presence that has the potential to be a stabilising influence for this team, which is exactly what they need right now. Now, from a player's perspective, though, forget about who the coach is. You guys as the playing group need to step up and start to get some things done. And especially the guys whom he's going to give more opportunity to. That's the bit I'm really looking forward to seeing tonight.
Gazy, most at stake.
Well, for me, it's the Adelaide 36ers. Can they salvage this season? This is the last roll of the dice for them. So interesting to see how they bounce back, whether they get that emotional lift.
Taipans, for me. I mean, this is a game you shouldn't drop. Yes, they get that potential bounce back after the coach losing his job. But if you're serious about playing in the postseason, you need to take care of business tonight.
Well, that's it. Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gaze, thank you very much for joining me. They're going to take you through this one, along with the sweet dulcet tones of Joel Peterson, one of the best in the business. This one's set to be a good one. Can the Adelaide 36ers get their season back on track? Adelaide, Cairns, starts now.
Results for some teams are becoming critical. One of those in desperate need of a win is Adelaide. Marshall to Flowers, who puts a lid on it and puts the record out of business. Wiley all the way. Here is Brown, slotted by Starling, who is not having that. And Klintman runs the floor and stuffs it at the other end. They've been fighting back all game, looking to send it to OT. They'll take the easy 2. Okay. Pat Miller upstairs. They've dominated the headlines in the NBL this week, and the Adelaide 36ers start a new era tonight at home against the Cairns Taipans. CJ Bruton is out, Scott Ninnis is in as coach, and the Sixers trying to rebound for a Mahora weekend. Their fans have again rolled in to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The Taipans had one of the strangest games of the season on Thursday. This isn't been a venue that has treated them well. They're 1-5 here from 6 attempts. We take a look at our Mitsubishi Motors ladder. Joel Peterson, Andrew Gaze, Liam Santamaria with you. John Casey is courtside. Cairns are just outside those play-in spots. Adelaide are last on the table. They've had such a bizarre week in many respects, Liam. So much change in this Adelaide lineup, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they come out tonight.
Yeah, fascinating game ahead. As you say, it's been an enormous week for Adelaide. Obviously, Scott Ninnis stepping in as the new head coach. There is so many different things to keep an eye on in this one.
So he's a club legend, Drewy. He's a Hall of Famer, 233 games. He's previously coached the Adelaide 36ers. He's won a couple of titles as a player as well. He comes with a very big resume.
He is. He was bouncy when he was in his younger days, and a good athlete, but was defensive. Oh, that was on a Melbourne Tiger. He defensively was his calling card. He could shoot it, but it was the work on the defensive end where he's more renowned, and I think you'll he'll try to see a little bit more of that out of the Adelaide 36ers. There's not a whole lot he can do with just a couple of days of practice with his team. What he can do, of course, is change the lineups, but you can see he, legend of the Adelaide 36ers, I think he totaled 3 championships as a player. Here's Graham Cubank. So already he's brought in a former teammate and another NBL guy, Graham Cubank. Unless I'm mistaken, I haven't seen him on the sidelines, Liam, throughout the course of the season. So perhaps another addition to the coaching staff.
We had the good fortune of catching up with Scott Ninnis earlier. John Casey had a chat to him and asked him about the situation he finds himself in.
Mixture of emotions, Case. Obviously we all feel for CJ. He's a quality guy, and I've been down that road myself before, and it's never nice. So I guess that's the first emotion that you feel for him and what he's going through. A mixture of excitement, I guess, and nervousness myself. This wasn't really part of the plan getting back involved, and it's just the way it's played out, obviously, with the results we've had over the season the last few weeks. So right now just would like to get through to about 10 o'clock tonight with a win under the belt.
He'll be hoping they can step it up as a collective, Scott Ninnis, and one man who needs to step it up is Trey Liam. Scoreless last time out. He's had some great games this season. He's had some injury concerns, but they really need a steadying performance from him.
Yeah, they do, and they really need offensive production. There you see how inconsistent it is. Those 20-point games, it needs to be something around that type of mark, night in, night out. They need him to be a top 10, top 15 scorer in the league. So those single-digit performances, look down the bottom. 4 of his past 5 games have been in single digits, including the jack jumper loss where it was actually no digits at all, Drewy. So they need much more production out of Trey.
They do, and in particular from the three-point line. That's where he's renowned. He's supposed to be able to knock it down from that area. Low 20s this season from the three-point line. I think some of that has got to do with system too. I think he needs a bit of structure in order to get those shots, but he's a quality player, as you saw by the numbers. On any given night, he can explode.
If you were Adam Ford, Drewy, how would you be rebounding from Thursday night? A strange set of circumstances, losing the shot clock, playing a 3.5-4 hour game in the end, and then coming to Adelaide on the back end of that, a close loss in which they rallied back.
Yeah, bizarre game. To play a game without a shot clock, that messes with your mind. And in fact, if you look at it though, it probably worked in their favour because they dug themselves a huge hole and they almost found a way to get out of it. Galloway with a huge play down the stretch to save that basket. And this one here, the shot goes in, but unfortunately just not in time. Well after the shot, after the siren in fact. But it's going to be a tough one. One thing I would recommend is that post-game, I wouldn't be using the travel schedule and the unusual set of circumstances the night before as any sort of excuse for whatever might happen.
I don't think we'll be seeing that anytime soon, or Damon Lowry will be absolutely apoplectic if that happens again. Let's take a look at our starting fives because there are changes to both. We forecast this with the Adelaide 36ers, Liam, and Trent Flowers gets the start.
Well, that's the interesting one here. Yeah, Trenton Flowers comes into the lineup and Mitch McCarron comes out. So the captain of the club, the man who had all those words to say at the end of practice the other day. We know Scott Ninnis is going to lean into some of their younger talent, and the next star, Trenton Flowers, comes into the starting lineup.
McCarron had started every game previous to this. A change for the Taipans too. Sam Wardenberg replaces Jonah Antonio, Drewy.
Yeah, it is, and Josh Roberts, he was fantastic against Melbourne United, but only played in the next game, only played the 8 minutes. So what type of performance and minutes we're going to get from him? But it's a reasonably settled starting lineup when all the players are available, of course. So I think that they've got some assets that can cause some problems to the Adelaide 36ers.
Can the 36ers put a torrid week behind them and get themselves a W back on their home floor where they're 3-3 this season, and Cairns just 1-5 in this venue? Been in operation for the past 3 seasons in the city of Churches. Immediately McCall goes to work, and some good defence from Wiley. Knocks it away from Roberts. Straight outside to Bull Quall, who nets a triple.
Well, that'll be a nice sight for Taipans fans. They missed their first 14 three-point attempts against Sydney. Bull Quall open, scoring from long range right there.
You speak of Mitch McCarron starting all this season. He would not have come off the bench in a game, I dare say, over the last 5 or 6 seasons. You'd have to go back a long way, I would think, before he wasn't in the starting lineup.
Vasiljevic recovered from an awkward fall, and able to read the passing lane quite nicely. On the other end, Cal steps into a 3. So he's looking for his shot early. One thing they have had this season is great crowds in Adelaide. So despite all the turmoil and the results not going their way, the fans have continued to roll into the Adelaide Entertainment Centre throughout the season. Wiley out to DJ, on the move through the paint, can't get it to go. Humphries recycles it and gets it home. So first bucket for the Sixers, that'll get their fans up and about. Let's go courtside to John Casey.
Thanks very much, Joel. Yes, I heard you talking about Graham Cubank being on the bench for the 36ers as Wardenberg into the starting 5 knocks down the 3. Graham Cubank actually was assistant coach with Scott Ninnis in the South Adelaide NBL1 team. They won the championship 2 seasons ago, so they go back a long way. And of course, Cubank, former Adelaide player as well. And there is no Craig Simpson, the assistant coach, tonight. Unfortunately for Craig, one of his kids was taken to the hospital ill yesterday, and we send our best wishes to Craig and his family and hope that's not too serious and he's back on deck pretty soon as Trey Kell knocks down the 3. But also an update on Josh Roberts. He did sustain a knee injury in the game on Thursday night, and that's why he's restricted to just 9 minutes. So expecting him to play a little bit more in this one.
Thanks, Case. Look forward to checking in with you throughout the contest. Here is Roberts showing no ill effects of that knee injury with a bit of spring there. Can't get it to go. Cal on the other end. He's fouled by Wardenberg.
Well, Roberts has missed a couple of bunnies around the basket, so maybe just that little tweak might have something to do with that as well. But after a nervous start by the Adelaide 36ers, just starting to build a little momentum, and you talk about relief when you knock down a shot. That last 3 ball by Trey Curl, Liam, that would ease a lot of his anxiety.
You know, I've liked the push of the ball from Adelaide in these opening couple of minutes. Ninnis certainly said during the week, I had a bit of a chat to him, he said, we're going to play up tempo. I really want to make sure that we're picking the pace up a little bit when we play, and you can see the kicker heads up the sideline, Wiley being aggressive, Vasiljevic, and Trey Cal has 5 early points.
Much better start for them than last week when Tassie jumped out to an early lead. They've trailed at half-time in 11 consecutive games, the 36ers. Ball Quall steps on the paint.
Well, they've also perhaps looked at what the Sydney Kings did the other night, played a heavy diet of zone defence. And early on in this one, it was a 1-2-2 zone defence, and just the disruption there causes the turnover. So be interesting to see how much of zone we see from the Adelaide 36ers as well.
Wiley thought about it in the corner. Here's DJ getting to his spot. Wardenberg protects the space. McCall with a beautiful move.
Does that so well. McCall, you know it's coming too, but so hard to stop when he's getting downhill. The Euro step right past Vasiljevic.
So a couple of times the lead's been traded early, and there is McCall getting his hand in and throwing it up to Klintman. You can hear the pleas for that energy to remain. Wardenberg with some energy on the defensive end. And they force another turnover, Cairns. So good at causing chaos on that end of the ball. Miller kept it in. Gets a look at a wide open 3. Wardenberg keeps it alive. Klintman on the handoff going against his fellow next star, Flowers, who pulled the chair on him. Vasiljevic's pass almost taken away. Humphries the beneficiary.
Well, you're right, Liam. They are on every opportunity, and they've been presented a few as well. A couple of missed shots. Gets their transition game going.
Here's Klintman from outside. The sweet shooting Swede knocks it down and gives Cairns a 4-point lead.
Wide open looks. I don't think Scott Ninnis would like what he's seeing at the defensive end. Vasiljevic fouled. He's going to shoot 3 free throws. Here's the Harvey Norman replay. McCall with the steal. Klintman with the flush.
Oh, Bobby. Oh, Bobby. I tell you what. Nice regulation type stuff out in transition, but this is what it's got Liam Santa Maria very excited. Seeing two, he's like a proud dad here, sitting here, seeing his 2 sons get a start. He's got a starter on both teams.
Well, no, Klintman's checked in after just a couple of minutes here.
That's
Drew.
true. Playing early minutes.
What he's done, he's had a very instant impact.
A profound impact coming in, and it's a foul there on DJ, just reaching in from behind.
What's he like, Bobby Klintman, Liam? Because he's fun to watch. He looks like he'd be a fun character.
He is. He's a real likeable guy. The Taipan teammates all really enjoy having him around the group. Adam Ford's developed a fantastic relationship with him. And I tell you, when the Next Stars all got together in Sydney for a day during the FIBA break, he was the life of the party. Really, not that there was a party, but he was the life of the group. In that he's a very affable personality. He's going to fit very well as McCall gets fouled at the rim in an NBA locker room, where it's important you come in and get along with your teammates at a high level.
As we know, he loves the weather up in Cairns. He told us that in a post-game interview earlier in the season. He's a character. He's Bobby Klintman. He's doing some nice things on the court, especially early here. Having a little bit of a chat with DJ Vasiljevic as he cruises past. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gaze with you. John Casey's courtside. Second leg of a Saturday night doubleheader in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Tassie getting the job done by 17 over New Zealand earlier tonight.
Well, Nick Marshall's checked into the game as well. He's the other one that has been spoken about as trying to get more quality minutes into, and he sees some early action, and straight away they throw in the double team, and he almost burped it up.
Played a season high 15 minutes last time out against Tassie, did Nick Marshall. Humphries takes it up strong.
This is a good sign for 36er fans. An active, involved, aggressive Isaac Humphries. He has been quiet over the past couple of weeks. They need him up and about in that double-double type territory.
McCall gets to his right hand and banks it home. Another pretty move from Tajir McCall, who's just so crafty. He's got a big bag of tricks. As Vasiljevic gets it to go on the other end. They're keeping it close early, both of these teams. He's very early for Zorba to come out in the piece, I would have thought, from the DJ at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Normally that's a bit of a fourth quarter special.
I would have thought so. I think he might have pushed the wrong button.
Can't be having Zorba in the first quarter.
It's a new era in Adelaide.
Gee whiz.
And first quarter Zorba is all part of the grand plan.
I have to get Case to sort that out.
If they hit the front and they start playing another one bites the dust, then we know we need to have a word to the man on the buttons.
Going with the Angels or something, wouldn't they? Good South Australian band. Meninga's into the game for the Taipans. Quol's back out there. Here's Klintman again. That one's a little bit short. Meninga keeps it alive. Bull Quol likes the look of it, and why not?
Well, that's 2 of 3 now from Bull Quol from long range. He's got his eye in.
Starling out there.
Jeez.
Goes straight at McCall, who hits the hardwood. Gets up, just making sure everyone knew that he took one right to the sternum.
Yeah. That's good D. Straight line drive. And probably a little exaggeration of the level of contact, but when you hit straight down the middle and you're moving forward, it's hard for the officials to ignore that.
It is. Felt like he was always going down though, didn't it?
Correct. There's a little bit of that.
Of course, Alex Starling, a championship player under Scott Ninnis at South Adelaide in the NBL 1.
Geez, he's on the deck a fair bit in the early going here to Jim McCall. The Adelaide fans are showing their displeasure.
He's keeping a couple of young court wipers employed. Good for business in the city of Churches is Tajir McCall. So a timeout, 3:53 remaining earlier in the term. 4-point lead to the Taipans. If you missed it earlier in the week, of course, among all the turmoil in Adelaide this week with the new coach, the captain, Mitch McCarron, he decided to plant his flag from a leadership perspective at training this week.
Shut the fuck up. Stop, bitch!
try and get that vision of Mitch McCarron at training. Of course, Mitch McCarron clip of him really laying it out to his teammates during the week at training. John Casey's out, boots on the ground, sideline tonight. Case, what was the reaction from not only the team but sort of more broadly in Adelaide to that outburst from Mitch McCarron this week?
Oh, I think everyone was happy that they saw the passion come out of Mitch McCarron, and things aren't going well here and someone needed to make a stand. I haven't spoken to anyone who took that any more than a positive move by a passionate captain trying to lead his team to bigger and better things. I was just in the huddle with the 36ers there, and Scott Ninnis is all over the offensive rebounding. He's saying they're killing us there. We need to stop that, stem the flow there, try and stop them getting offensive boards, and then get out and run a little bit. But certainly, I love what Mitch McCarron brought to the table there at training on Thursday. And I can tell you also at training on Thursday, the 36ers did try a number of different looks. They went to a zone on a number of occasions. It didn't work all that well, and it can be tough trying to implement that type of regime quickly. So I'm not sure how much we'll see it tonight, but I think we're going to see it a little bit more than we've seen in the past.
Thank you, Case. Good on you. Not a 3 for the Taipans.
Not if they keep knocking down those free balls, you won't. A defensive transition, you're running back to positions rather than identifying players. And that is not the way you're going to play a zone defense. So I think that you're right. Case is right. It is hard if you haven't done a lot of it just to throw in a zone. Now I know you grow up with it, but to get really refined on how your rotations are going to be in that zone, it does take a bit of time. And the other thing too, with what we saw with the McCarron video, I think, you know, I'd be getting him in the game a little earlier. It had an impact. You could tell it had an impact on the players because it's gone viral. They would have seen it and heard it. And I'd like to see him a little sooner than perhaps they were planning.
Maybe reward the fact that he was willing to set the standards and lay it down to them. Armstrong out there for the Snakes. McCall thought about the 3 inside. Menenga can't finish. Good defense from Starling. And they force a 24-second shot clock violation. Well, there weren't many of those on Thursday for the Taipans.
No, certainly not in the second half. But that was much better from Adelaide defensively.
They won't be coming out at the press conference saying, well, we didn't have one on Thursday and we're not used to it. Here's Humphries rolling to the hoop and finishing.
Well, that's when they have looked their best, Adelaide, since DJ Vasiljevic has arrived. Here's Klintman open again. Can't quite hit that. When he's in pick and roll actions with Isaac Humphries and he's giving it up early, Adelaide have had some periods where they've looked very good.
There's DJ from out on Port Road. Can't hit. Humphries rips it down, goes back to work, and one for Isaac Humphries. He'll have a chance to tie it up.
An engaged and an excited Isaac Humphries. It's we really don't see it enough. He's got the 10 points already, and he's been targeted. So they're looking for him on the rolls. In transition, he's running the floor, creating opportunities. And I love it when the big fella shows a bit of emotion as well.
Jacob Wiley showing plenty of emotion on the bench too. Isaac Humphries hands the bonus, tied up at 23. Of course, DC Multiverse Round is here. Your favourite Hungry Jacks NBL teams are repping some of their most iconic heroes ever seen. You can grab your favourite heroes threads at the NBL store by scanning the QR code on your screen. Here comes Nick Marshall with the finish.
Timeout Cairns. Adelaide fans up and about. 36ers in the lead.
Active hands in the zone and the deflection. Not just standing around.
So 25-23, 2-point lead to the 36ers. A little 7-0 run. John Casey, as we said earlier, caught up with Scott Ninnis earlier and talked about some of the rotation changes the 36ers will make tonight.
You said to me on Wednesday that you were going to make some changes and there were going to be some difficult conversations you needed to have with players. How did they go?
I think as well as can be expected, and no one likes to hear you know, that they're not playing a lot, or you know, or at all, especially guys that are used to playing. So I think the results we've had have forced that. I think it'd be stupid of me just to expect to continue to do the same thing and get a different result. So we'll shorten the rotation a little bit. We'll get some guys playing more consistent minutes that probably haven't been in the past, and see how we go from there.
So Scott Ninnis, he's turned to a little bit of youth. We know that change to the starting lineup, and so far it's paying dividends.
Well, Mitch McCarron is out there. Now he's checked in off the bench and is in the active group. The guys that we haven't seen who have been playing, Jason Kadee and Sunday Dex. So we keep an eye on how that plays out over the course of the game. But I think he's right, Drew. I think you do have to change some things up.
Of course you do.
And
with limited time, I think you really can only mess with it. Oh, that's just a left open, but Sterling just says, not in my house. Well, hang on.
Klintman outside, puts it right back at him.
And he says 3's better than 2. But I think what you can do is change the personnel. It's hard to have real significant structural changes when, what did you have, maybe 2 practice sessions before this game? But to mess around with the playing personnel, that can have an impact. Oh,
Antonio with the quick trigger.
And this is where they're having trouble. Adelaide is just identifying three-point shooters on the arc. Sliding under there, McCall. Kel can't hit.
4-point lead to the Snakes. Back-to-back threes. Klintman for another 14 points for Bobby Klintman.
Well, he's feeling it. And the Taipans are a combined 8 of 12 from long range.
Just about dropped the next in next star, the way Bobby Klintman's playing at the moment. Karen tries to probe inside. Starling down low. With some strength, disrupted on the defensive end. McCall just standing there, watches Armstrong cruise past. Half a minute left in this opening frame. Taipans by 7. Antonio makes it 10.
9 threes made in the first quarter. Wow.
Last 4 possessions for the Taipans. 3-3-3-3. And the Adelaide Entertainment Centre is very quiet all of a sudden. Kel with the last shot of the opening quarter. Throws it up to Starling, who's fouled. And he will have a chance to go to the line.
Well, you could see it in the early going. The 36ers in defensive transition, a lack of awareness and ability to find the shooters on the arc. And the Taipans, who had all kinds of shooting struggles in the loss to Sydney on Thursday night, have come out on fire.
So they were 0 of 14 at one stage. They are 9 of 13 already tonight.
And they're getting the double whammy because they are defending the three-point line. One of the better teams is guarding the three-point line is the Cairns Taipans, and they've held the Adelaide 36ers to just 1 of 5.
Starling's had a rough season at the line. 35.3% so far. Already their highest scoring opening frame of the season. The Cairns Taipans. Their lead is 9. Klintman's got 14 already and didn't want to put up another one for the road. But a great start for the Taipans. A 3-point barrage in that opening term, and they lead at quarter time by 9.
Sixers fans, here we go. All thanks to Screenaway. We got $5,000 to give away. Just
It's 10:30 in the morning in Sweden, and they will be up and about after that opening term. Bobby Klintman with 14 points, the next star for the Cairns Taipans. 4 threes from him, 9 threes from the Taipans overall. Couple of big defensive plays, and then he took it right back at them. And at quarter time, the Cairns Taipans lead the Adelaide 36ers 35-26. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria and Andrew Gay. Some famous faces watching on, Alir and Travis Boak. A couple of Port Adelaide champions in the house, and that was a shooting exhibition.
Well, it was. I think that you come into the game with a plan Scotty Ninnis has, and that is to have a look at the zone defence. And understandably why, because we saw a lot of that played by the Sydney Kings, but gee whiz, need to get the defensive transition back on track as well. He does his work around the basket, and I'm not sure the 1-2-2 zone defense is going to get it done.
Best opening quarter for the Taipans this season. Previous was 31. Foul before Sam Wardenberg stepped on the paint. Mitch McCarron stays out there, of course, not in the starting lineup tonight for the 36ers. If you've just joined us, Trenton Flowers replacing him in that starting 5. He's out there at the moment.
It wasn't the only issue Adelaide had in that first quarter. The 3-point hits from the Taipans and the issues in defensive transition. Also 1 of 5 themselves from 3. So weren't really able to get anything going from long range. And the 5 turnovers, giving up offensive rebounds. And so a number of different problems to solve in that quarter-time huddle.
Here's Antonio from downtown, a little bit strong, and then off the apparatus. So that'll be an Adelaide ball. Let's go courtside to John Casey.
Thanks, Joel. Just following up on what Liam Santamaria was talking about, they gave up 7 O-boards, and that was a focus for Scott Ninnis during the quarter-time break. He also spoke to the team about, said, look, we've got enough points on the board, but we need to stop leaking points at the other end. They're going to switch everything 1 through 5 and try and tighten up at the defensive end.
Thanks, Case. That 3 from DJ Vasiljevic will help. As Miller gets to the line at the other end.
Well, with this lineup on the floor, switching 1 through 5 is not a bad idea, given what we saw in the first quarter and the need to make some adjustments. And it's a lot easier to do that when Isaac Humphries is not in the lineup. His ability to keep the guys in front, and when you've got a white-hot shooting team, switching and trying to dig at the ball and contest that 3 ball becomes a little easier.
Pat Miller's coming off a couple of good games. Huge performance against Melbourne United, 32. Did a little bit of everything against Sydney, 22 points, 3 assists.
He has quietly been absolutely outstanding so far this season. 4th in scoring, leads the league in assists. Just sliding a little under the radar in terms of those conversations about MVP, all NBL first team and the like.
Just gives them a different look late in games too. Gee, they're going to lead the break here, the Snakes. Klintman got the foul, and he'll go to the line. So the other night he was 22 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 7 turnovers. So he's involved in the game, that's for sure.
Well, what he did against Melbourne United, that was a performance where he was able to create his own shot. He was distributing the ball. He was just a wrecking ball out there. And you're right, when you just look at the numbers, missed a few games because of injury, of course, but the raw data speaks volumes for what he's been able to do.
Klintman 2 of 2 at the line, 7-point lead to the Taipans. It was 9 at quarter time, 35-26. Almost Adelaide's highest scoring first quarter of the season too. Their best is 28. So not a bad start from the 36ers, considering they were so lackluster at that end last week.
See, that's the kind of position where Adelaide need Trey Kell to go to work. Comes off the ball screen, he gets the switch, he's got the mismatch, he's got Sam Wardenberg in front of him. Go to work. You need to be a premier scorer in this league, and you need to take advantage of those types of situations.
Trey Kell, McCarron, Wiley, Starling, Vasiljevic. The 5 for Scott Ninnis at the moment. Beautiful pass from Kell inside to Wiley.
Straight away, he must have hurt you, Liam, because he's not going to beat you with blistering speed. Look out. Oh,
jeez.
Offensive foul.
DJ's gone down hard.
Out of the way.
The Trey Kell down the other end.
Offensive.
Just getting into the paint and creating with a drop-off pass. And then have a look at this. He rises above. Straight into Vasiljevic. And I'm not sure what he got hit. Maybe
it's the face of the left hand.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call from the official. It was...
You're going to challenge it.
Jeez. Oh, I think they'll lose that because you can't just fend off with your offhand and slap
was
the guy
that
in
the
face.
call or was it the charge? Did they call her for the fend off? And that's the thing.
There you
You've got to
go.
know what the actual call was. And it was called an offensive foul.
Yeah, well, it was a foul on the offense, right? Is that what we're talking about?
No, I think they're talking it was not a push-off with their arm. It was an offensive foul, of course. Oh, well, I assume that when they talking about it was...
So a charge, as in a block charge, or
Yes.
a fend-off here with the left hand.
He's hit him in the head.
Yeah, well, if that's the call, then they're going to lose the challenge.
100.
This was a good angle of it. You can see that the offhand into the nose of DJ. Mitch Hare, Rupert Walcock, Alex McEwen, our referees tonight. Here you go. You see that left hand make some pretty significant contact with the schnoz of
straight
DJ
forward.
Vasiljevic.
Not sure why you'd want to challenge that. Maybe Coach Ford had a bad angle.
Yep. Coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The offensive foul will stand.
Mitch Hare telling us what we thought.
Oh, I think that was probably the most straightforward review of the season.
That's the information I have got, and that's what I'm coming to. Okay? I'm going to tell you.
Because, yes, the no charge zone is in place, and it means as a defender, you can jump up vertical, and as an offensive player, you can attack the rim, but there's no situation where you can just slap a guy in the face in an attempt to finish a play.
Well, I think he was... Maybe Adam Ford thought, well, if it's just a charging foul and it wasn't the push call for the push-off, then maybe a no-charge circle. Well, he goes upstairs and does a chin-up on the rim just to let everyone know he's tucked it in.
This might need a bit of WD-40 on the rim as well. Just a little bit squeaky as he was hanging on it.
Well, he's been one of their better players all season. Brings energy, pretty consistent numbers.
Fan favourite in Adelaide too.
The energy. Always plays hard.
Don't get the fadeaway to go on that occasion, but he and the Sixers have narrowed the gap to 3 points early on in this second term. Klintman, nice move.
That's tough. At 6'10", Drewy, the push of the ball.
At 6'2", it's still pretty tough. I know what you're saying is because you're thinking, well, a 6'10" guy with that type of mobility,
jeez,
change of direction, body control.
Just shifted down a couple of gears and slowing down through the paint.
Which is an important skill in its own right, Joel, the ability to decelerate and finish. There are a couple of guys around the league, Lachlan Olbrich in Illawarra, Isaac White in Brisbane, who are particularly good at doing that. And Klintman there, with that kind of size, the ball handling, the mobility, very impressive.
He's got some craft, doesn't he?
Well, to me, if you're trying to make a direct comparison with him and Sari, DJ fires one up from outer space. There's not a, that'd be probably ranking him a little higher because of the potential upside, but I still see the same level of upside with your boy Bobby.
Here he is again, Klintman. Had a piece taken of that one. Comes flying down the lane, and that time he was a little bit out of control. He's going to get the benefit of a call.
Like, explain to us, Liam, what, if you're just making the comparison with him and Sar, what are
so they're both
NBA
projected first rounders, right? Alexander at the moment in the conversation to be the #1 overall pick. Bobby just sitting on the bubble there of becoming a lottery pick. I wouldn't be surprised if a strong second half of this season pushes him up into that territory.
Just keeps doing this.
But you're asking, all right, from a talent evaluation perspective, if you're an NBA executive or scout, what are you seeing the difference between the two in terms of those rankings? I think the fact that Alexander is a couple of years younger. So he's 18, Bobby's 20. 7'1" with the 7'5" wingspan has probably got them salivating over the potential of what he can become, especially at the defensive end, the ability to stretch it out as well offensively. But I tell you, Drewy, they are both very exciting prospects.
Klintman with the defensive play as well. Doing it on both ends.
Explosion by Bobby.
A 1-2 between Miller and McCall, and Taj wants shots as he was fouled on the way through.
Bobby's just putting on a show here. 20 points, 6 of 10 from the field. He's perfect from the free throw line. 4 of 7 from the land of plenty. Just, if the NBA scouts are in town this week, there might be some re-evaluations going on.
It was 32.6% from threes coming into tonight, 14 of 56. 10.5 points on 43% shooting from the field. But he's had a couple of real standout games. He's shown some huge flashes. So 3.5 minutes played here in this second period. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gaze, John Casey with you. Second leg of a Saturday night doubleheader in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Of course, big day tomorrow of hoops as well. Melbourne and Brisbane, Sydney and Southeast Melbourne coming your way. You know, I love a tidbit, Liam.
Yes.
This is one of these two teams haven't played yet. Haven't played since January, as Cal's a little bit sore off the ball. Perth and Illawarra last night also hadn't played. Southeast Melbourne and Sydney tomorrow, they haven't played yet. And then everyone's played everyone at least once.
Okay.
In this Hungry Jacks NBL season. So I cared about that. I don't think anyone else did.
I like it.
It's a little bit of a tidbit for you.
Here's another tidbit. Paul Qualls just picked up his third personal.
That might even be more than a tidbit.
That's not a surprise, unfortunately. He's renowned for playing at a very high level, but at some point in time, he's got to understand that maybe it's not the officials, it's me. And some of the adjustments you've got to make, because this is remarkably consistent about his ability to get into foul trouble.
Come up empty on the offensive possession, the 36ers. Down by 9, McCall has all the time in the world to think about it and then splash in a 3.
Jeez, that's their 10th triple now. So 30 of their 47 points have come from long range at a very, very impressive 62%.
Biggest lead of the game for the Taipans. McCall's on the floor inside, and Wiley finishes over the top of him. Brings it back to 10.
He cops the flop warning there to Giacomo McCall, and not before time.
No, that was a poor effort in the flop too.
Marshall leaves it behind for DJ. Tried to float it home, collected his own miss and put it back in with the left hand. See that play again.
Oh, that's worthy of a warning, that's for sure. And sometimes when they're that bad, do they have the right to immediately just whack the tee straight on them? I don't know whether you're compelled to give the warning, are you?
No, I think if it's egregious, you can go right there. And you know, there was some initiation of contact from the offense, but you just want to see Tajir McCall try to hold his ground a little more.
Marshall from outside can't get it to go. Roberts rips down the rebound. Lat Mayon's out there. Sturt product. Adelaide junior. Back in his hometown. Miller thought there might have been some contact from Marshall as he missed from the free throw line. Glanced across at the referee. Got nothing for it. Beautiful feed from Cal inside to Wiley.
Beautiful pass. And this is what we're talking about with Trey Cal. We don't need him to shoot it every possession, but just be aggressive. You're there on this squad in this league to be an offensive playmaker.
Main catches the lob pass from Miller down low. Didn't go up with it. Miller goes to work on Marshall.
Just put his hands down. Had good position, and when you drop your hands, even if you don't make a lot of contact, very difficult to get away with it. And that's what he brought him undone. Have a look at the Harvey Norman replay. And this is Trey Kell. Twice he's been able to get into the paint. Not explosive speed, just control, good vision. And while he's in the right place at the right time, gets rewarded. That name's an interesting one. A guy that's in the early on in the season was heavily involved in the rotation. The last 3 or 4 games, he hasn't been getting too much action, but this is something we need to go and see. The Harlem Globetrotters. Oh, can you remember the day you ever seen the Globetrotters?
Yes, sir.
They are an absolute treat. Great family entertainment. And if I was talking about this yesterday, I just want to know, do they have the confetti in the bucket? Because that was when I was a little 9-year-old.
Yes.
Oh, did I laugh? Oh, jeez. Did I laugh?
Oh, my goodness.
Well, don't miss your chance to be a part of the Globetrotters action. You can get your tickets at HG24 at NBL.com.au as Cal takes it inside.
Well, he is just starting to feel it. 9 points, 4 assists. Very aggressive.
Trey Cal has ended the chat. Here's Wiley up the other end. They continue to claw back into this margin, the Sixers.
Love the fight. He's had the potential to get away from it. Was starting to slip away, but they've been able to hang in there.
Miller just bounces off Humphries. And finishes at the other end.
It was Humphries bouncing off Miller. Just quietly, Joel. He's so strong when he attacks the rim.
51-45. Snakes ahead, but the Sixers making a good fist of it after they trailed by 12 earlier in the corner. That and that was a bit too easy.
And back-to-back gimmies. Just when you get momentum, you start to get the fans involved. They give up 2 real easy ones at the rim.
Wiley for 3, knew it was off straight away. Miller keeps it alive. McCall all the way. Sidestep wasn't rewarded. Again, he's finds himself on the hardwood at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, and DJ lays it home.
Yeah, and look at the way the officials are letting him sit.
Correct.
To Jim McCall, when he hits the deck like that and he looks up and asks for a call, they're saying, play on.
And that's because they don't know now what's real and what's not real. Because there's so much flopping going on. Sometimes when there's something, those 50-50 ones, he's less likely to get them because they're thinking he's got this reputation of being a flopper. And he misses out perhaps on 1 or 2 that could get the benefit of the doubt with.
It's almost their best first half of the season.
Scott, if you're subbing, you can sub now.
Adelaide, 48 points is their best first half of the season. Keep in mind, just your friendly reminder, last week at halftime they had 23.
Yes. Now, by best, we mean highest scoring.
Yes.
Of course, Joel, because they've given up 53 already here with just a tick under 3 minutes to play in the second quarter. So, yep, nice to see them ticking the scoreboard over because that certainly was not happening down in the Apple Isle. But also need to make sure they take out those stretches where they're leaking buckets at this end of the floor. 57
is the most that they've given up in the first half. So they might crack both of them in the same half here, the Sixers. McCall can't get it to go. A little bit of volleyball inside. Roberts comes down with it. Man thought about calling his shot. 6 on the shot clock for McCall to work with, who splashes a rainbow home.
His jumper is looking a lot better this season to Jim McCall, isn't it?
Spot on. Spot on it is. He's knocked down, and even more recently we're seeing teams still test him and really invite him to shoot the 3 ball. I think with what we're seeing, that you've got to just give him a little bit more respect. The problem with that, he's so good.
He's very quick
at getting around you and getting to the rim. So he start knocking down that 3 ball in that mid-range a little bit more regularly. Boy, is he a handful.
So the snooze timeout comes with Cairns up by 8, 55-47. John Casey caught up with Pat Miller earlier and talked about Cairns' turnaround from that bizarre game on Thursday night.
A lot of fun and games in Cairns the other night with the shot clock. Have you come across anything like that before in your life?
Never. That was the first. It was, especially the pause at halftime. That was a long pause. I think like 30, 40 minutes. And then playing a whole professional game with no shot clock and we just running around now. It was unreal.
It says a lot about the team, though, that you were able to climb back into it from 20 down to get back to within 3 and had a shot there almost to win it.
It showed like we was resilient. You know, we was fighting. We was able to make a run. We had great energy. So I think if we could start the game like that, we didn't have to put ourselves in a hole like that. We see what we can be as a team, and I think we just got to find the consistency to do that, and I think that's what we're building on, working on.
Adelaide have got
Well, they started very differently tonight, the Taipans. 55 points on the board already, as we talked about throughout the call. They've hit 10 of 16 three-pointers when they were 0 of 14 against Sydney. They trailed by as many as 22 on Thursday night against the Kings. They've made things a lot earlier, or a lot easier for themselves early on here.
Yeah, it's been an almighty turnaround. They were bone dry, and it's why they fell into a really deep hole against the Kings. But much better shooting here in this first half.
Isaac Humphries goes back to work and gets a call. Josh Roberts not happy with it. Been good so far, Humphries. 5 of 6 shooting from the field. 11 points. Has gone to the line once. 5 rebounds for his night so far.
They just look so much better, Drewy, don't they, when Isaac Humphries is heavily involved. We called the game that they beat the Wildcats, maybe, I don't know how many, 7 or 8 Adelaide games ago, and he had an enormous one. In their last 5 games leading into this one, Humphries had not scored more than 10 points or grabbed more than 7 rebounds in any of them. And he's headed well and truly in the direction of topping both those marks in this one.
No, 100%. And we saw a game earlier on this season where he only had 1 field goal attempt. That just can't happen. He's too much of an important piece to this Adelaide 36ers team. And you see the difference when he's active. It just provides so many more opportunities for the 36ers.
Vasiljevic goes straight back to him. That time he fended off. Roberts not thrilled with the treatment.
And what Roberts did there to help his cause was that he half-fronted it. See how he's half-fronting it? So now Isaac catches it 1.5 meters off the box. And that was probably not a
bit of a sell.
A lot of contact. But catching it a bit further off the box and making him take an extra dribble or two helped the cause.
Wardenberg's fouled on the shot. Aaron Galloway's into the game for his first minutes.
Well, they're getting worked up, the Adelaide fans. They felt like Josh Roberts went down a little easily. I thought there was extension of the arm there.
Yeah, there was. That's what it was.
Yeah,
sure.
From Isaac Humphries, but then a soft whistle down the other end.
So the Taipans with a chance to make it there. The highest scoring first half Adelaide has given up. Sam Wardenberg gets the first to go. Let's go courtside to Case.
Thanks, Joel. Look, I've got to say I'm a big fan of your tidbit a little earlier about the fact this is the first meeting between these teams. And I might add that they played 3 times last season and all 3 games were decided by 3 points. So this is the first time that the Taipans have been here in Adelaide this season. But teams have played other teams, like they played 5 other teams twice. And this is the first. And the vagaries of the draw, I think, sometimes can hurt, sometimes maybe not so. But it's an interesting tidbit.
What tidbits are flying left and right.
Appreciate the support, Case. Appreciate the support.
I want to join the party too. I don't know if you've mentioned this one, but the home team has won 9 of the last 10 games between Adelaide and Cairns.
That might be the best of all of the tidbits we've heard so far. Thank you.
Flowers just couldn't handle that. So that the 3 games last year, round 9 in Adelaide. Adelaide won 78-75. Round 13 in Cairns. Cairns won 86-83. And then Adelaide away was the one that they won. That was round 17, 102-99. So all 3 of them by 3.
I still think Drew's was the best.
Yep.
Appreciate the support, Liam.
We'll have that chat later. Speaking of having a chat.
Stop.
A shot clock violation, but
so I
Adam Ford,
nicking the ring.
Okay, yeah, I thought it did too. I thought I heard it.
Double check. It's all good. That's fine. Do you have it hitting the ring? No, I've got nothing for the face. Okay, I've got it hitting the ring. And the reset. So the reset was fine. Yeah, I had it hitting the ring.
So the inbound with a couple of seconds left. Klintman puts up the shot, and Adam Ford incensed that the call went against them. Scott Ninnis just checking in at the other end.
Incensed, but under control. Adam Ford, which is what I like to see from these guys on the sideline.
Underneath, nice pass from McCall to Miller.
just a complete breakdown.
So 59 points, as you see on your screen. Most they've conceded this season. Humphries making sure they're going to keep scoring, though, the 36ers.
And we continue to see Isaac Humphries present himself as a very viable option as the roll man heading towards the cup.
Yeah. That's...
And DJ Vasiljevic finding him there. Humphries, the team leading scorer with 15. He's 6 of 7 from the field.
I think a lot of the times he's rolling and rolling hard, and there are times early on in the season he just wasn't getting it. He's relying on others to get him the ball, and certainly it seems like Scott Ninnis, in the short time he's had with the team, is making that a priority.
I heard DJ say that they needed to get him more involved when he talked to Case pre-game. Galloway pulls down the rebound. Trey Kell the other way. Cans the triple.
They have found some serious rhythm at the offensive end in this second quarter. Adelaide got 31 second quarter points.
So 3 quarters last week, they had 43 points total. 23 at half-time, so they have got going here, the 36ers. Miller in attack mode to end the half. And that'll count.
Well, I don't think the ball was going in, but it was the contact with the net is the reason why they awarded that the goaltend.
Yeah, you can run here, yep.
So just under 10 seconds remaining in this opening half. 4-point lead to the Cairns Taipans. Adelaide have lost 11 consecutive first halves. That won't change here. Antonio from mid-court. Not quite. And we get to half-time with the Snakes up by 4. So 12 games in a row in which the 36ers have trailed at half-time. But they've shown some good signs. 31 points in that second term. The Taipans with 26 of their own, and they turn at the main break with a 4-point lead.
Yeah, it was just some great shooting. The 3-point field goal percentages of the Taipans has really been the difference. 10 of 18, 55% so far in the first half.
And John Casey's with the star of the show, Bobby Klintman.
Yeah, Bobby Klintman, the star of the show so far. Congratulations. Highest score in the NBL so far this season. What's working for you tonight?
You know, shots been falling, so try to get up as many shots when I'm open. You know what I'm saying? And my teammates been finding me. You know, we've been going downhill today, so we got to kick the ball out, and everybody's knocking down shots. But you know, we got to be better on defense because we let them score too easy on the defensive end. So just got to keep getting better on defense.
You hit 4 threes in this game, which is a new high water mark. Your best was 19 before tonight. You look like you're going to surpass that by a big margin. Is this the best game you've played?
I don't know, man. Probably one of them. Yes, sir.
And what do you need to do in the second half to make sure you hold on for the win?
Come out strong, get stops on defense, and offense go do it itself. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
So Bobby Klintman, he's just happy to sit back and let others judge his first half. It's been very entertaining, and the Snakes lead it by 4. Half-time at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Cairns 61, Adelaide 57. Half-time in Adelaide, second leg of a Saturday night doubleheader in the Hungry Jacks NBL, and it's been an offensive showcase. 118 points between the two teams. Cairns lead by 4, but there's been plenty of shooting. 13 made three-pointers in that first half. Plenty of action to dissect here at half-time. After the New Zealand Breakers went down earlier tonight, it's the Cairns Taipans leading the Adelaide 36ers at half-time. Joel Peterson, Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gaze with you. And really, the first half has belonged to Bobby Klintman. What an excitement machine he's been for the Snakes.
He certainly has. The three ball is the thing that sticks out, and he can get out. He's an elite athlete, as Liam mentioned. He's got good size, but his mobility. But they went into his zone early, the Adelaide 36ers, and that opened up Bobby Klintman. And when he saw one go in, he didn't hold back. He kept letting them fly. And as you can see, all 4 of those mates, not a lot of pressure. And down the other end of the floor, shows his length and size. He competes at the rim. He's been special. He's a huge talent. He's going to be a first-round pick, probably a lottery pick. And with numbers like this, you can see why. The 4 of 7 from the three-point line, 6 of 10 overall. 20 points already, a career high for this very fine young man.
Which is terrific to see him going so well. One player we did single out in the pre-game, Liam, was Trey Cal. He needed to have a big performance for the Sixers tonight, coming off a scoreless game last week, and he's shown up in a big way.
Yeah, he did, and it took a little bit to get going. We were talking in the early bits for him to start being a little bit more aggressive, and then it was like he flicked a switch, and he was letting it fly from long range, and he was putting it on the deck. These players in particular, where he starts to play make a little bit more, probe and be aggressive off the bounce, because he is a good passer of the ball. So he ends up with the 12 points and the 4 assists in that first half, and it was a little bit of everything. Long range, to the rim, a little mid-range, and then, of course, setting up his teammates as well. So a good first half from Trey Cal, and they need it again in the second.
And a good first half from Isaac Humphries, who's been really aggressive, Drewy. We like to see it from him. That's when he plays his best ball.
Absolutely, and he's been inconsistent, and I think not all of that is his own doing. Sometimes he gets left out, but tonight they've made a target on him. When he's rolling to the basket, he's been a threat, and they've been finding him. Just like that, great thread-the-needle pass by DJ Vasiljevic. He starts to get the confidence, so he hits the O boards, can finish around the rim. And look at the numbers, 6 of 7, and again, another nice shovel pass to 5 boards, and he looks active, he looks engaged, and I think that really helped him down the other end of the floor as well on the defensive end.
Well, it's been a bit of a change of focus, bit of a change in approach, of course, for these Adelaide 36ers under the interim head coach in Scott Ninnis. Great to have the best newsbreaker in the business. He's got so much news he cannot be contained behind a desk. Olgun Ulic. Olgun, what have you made of the rotation for the Sixers in the first half?
Well, Joel, it's unsurprising. It sort of tracks with the reporting that I had earlier in the week that Mitch McCarron, Sunday Dech and Jason Kadee would likely be out of the rotation. Now, we saw 5 minutes from Mitch McCarron in that first half, but Sunday Dech, Jason Kadee, that's a combined average of 37 minutes. Have not seen the floor, and it's obviously very unlikely that they will hit the floor. Now, this is something that we heard on background going into this game. It's something that Scott Ninnis has spoken about, wanting to play his young guys, which is why we've seen extended minutes for Nick Marshall, Trenton Flowers, and these guys. But it's the young guy on the other team, the next star on the Cairns Taipans, who's doing great. Bobby Klintman is number 17 on the latest mock draft from my ESPN colleagues, Jonathan Gavoni and Jeremy Wu. And guys, you can't speak highly enough on how much his game is probably going to translate to the NBA.
No, 100%, and that's because of the size he's got. He's just got that length that they're going to love. The athleticism's there for everyone to see. And, of course, these days with the game so predicated on the 3-ball, you see how sweet that jumper looks. It looks very much ready for that level. So he's got all the tools, and it's just continues to put up numbers like this, and he's no doubt he'll creep up those draft boards.
So he wasn't sure whether it was his best game. I think we can agree it's probably been his best game of the season, certainly his highest scoring game of the season, Bobby Klintman. We look forward to seeing more of him in this second half. More to come tomorrow as well. Big doubleheader in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Melbourne and Brisbane kick things off at John Cain Arena, 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. And then Sydney and South East Melbourne. Sydney, of course, coming off a win on Thursday night. South East Melbourne coming off a tumultuous week, letting Will Cummings go. How do they respond? Fascinating Sunday coming up tomorrow. Saturday night hoops coming your way from the beautiful city of Adelaide at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The view over Port Road into the Entertainment Centre packed with 36ers fans once again. I've seen an improved offensive performance from their team and from this man, Isaac Humphries. And it is the festive season. We're into December. We're staring down the barrel of Christmas. If you need a little Christmas gift, Isaac Humphries has got a Christmas album on the way. A Merry Little Christmas is the Christmas album from the big man.
Outstanding.
It's a nice bit of work. And we see any of that gear coming from you anytime soon, Drewy?
No, that's not my go. I'd love to be able to play a musical instrument, but that talent certainly didn't have the time for it when you're trying to drop numbers.
He can really sing.
Well, he's just released a single, a new single about telling his mum that he was gay. He wrote the single and he wrote an album when he was in a pretty dark place. So it's he's very talented.
As Bull Qual starts this second half off with a 3-ball. That's number 11 for the Taipans. It's no garage band operation for Isaac Humphries. He is a serious operator when it comes to the musical instruments and his singing, and look forward to I might just have to snake myself a copy of A Merry Little Christmas. I like the fact that it's A Merry Little Christmas from one of the biggest men in the league. Here's Jacob Wiley getting inside. He can't finish. Sam Wardenberg pulls down the rebound. 36ers with an impressive offensive first half, but still a bit of work to do at the defensive end. Played with a bit more pace and intensity so far.
Well, this right here has been their strength. Now, they missed that shot, but 36 of 6 inside the paint. And now, Liam, you've got something to point out.
This is the opening possession here from the Taipans. You love a team that can execute out of the huddle. Look at Bull Qual running across the baseline. Beautifully executed play. Catch and shoot, and they get their second half off to a flying start.
Well, that's the strength that has been. We've spoken about 11 of 20 now from the three-point line, but 36-16 the points in the paint in that first half in favour of the Adelaide 36ers. So they've been looking to get out and really attack the rim.
Speaking of attacking the rim, nice finish from AK Gack.
Point 24, hands foul.
That was a great find as well from Tajir McCall. Just made a read late while he was up in the air, and Gack, the length, athleticism, ability to finish through the contact. A chance here to extend this back out to a double-digit lead.
Not on that occasion for AK Gack. No luck at the free throw line. Here's Flowers on the other end. Trying to spin his way inside, lost the handle. Someone in the crowd thought that was amusing.
Orange 21, hands foul. Baseline.
So 9-point lead to the Taipans. Flowers, Cal, Humphries, Wiley, Vasiljevic, the 5 out there for the Sixers to start this second half. Humphries spinning inside, kicks it out. Cal from downtown can't hit. McCall in transition. He and Miller have got such a great connection. Wardenberg's got the mismatch on Vasiljevic. A little bit of a scrimmage for the rebound there between the Sixers. Flowers jacks up the triple. That one won't go. Humphries juggles it around, gets it back to Flowers, who comes charging down the lane, but gets denied. Still no score through 2.5 minutes here for the Sixers. Gack goes reverse.
Well, they haven't solved the defensive problems at the half-time break. They looks very reactive, really not taking too much away. And that's a pretty poor effort as well by the Cairns Taipans. But if Adelaide, it's a challenge for this one. It's this end of the floor. 59 points at this stage of the game is not unreasonable, and they're shooting it well. 50% from the field. Getting stops has been tough for them.
Wiley pulls down the rebounds. Leading the team in that category, 8 per game this season for the Sixers. Cal across the lane. Humphries, nice little right-hand hook.
Again, off the penetration from Trey Cal. Putting it on the deck, trying to make plays. And as you say, Drewy, trying to piece some stops together now. That's 2 consecutive stops. Foul onto Jim McCall, and all of a sudden, Adelaide faithful getting back up and about.
Sit down. I'm not having you signal unsportsmanlike. That's a warning. Warning. I'm not having him standing up and doing this.
Well, Scotty Ninnis gets his first little bit of advice from the officials. But that was an example. Tajir McCall, we spoke about how well he's been shooting the ball. DJ Vasiljevic gave him every opportunity, and that's an easy one. Trey Curl. So neither team really coming out here with the intensity on the defensive end to give themselves any type of separation. And there's another example of it. How easy was that?
Well, it's unsurprising from an Adelaide perspective because they've struggled at that end of the floor all season long. They're 9th in the league in defensive efficiency, but the Taipans have snuck up into pole position.
Here's DJ from downtown, making that work.
Well, that was particularly tough as he did his very best to stay behind the arc. Squared up with the shoulders and knocked that thing down.
Miller with a little fadeaway. Pretty move.
Seems like the energy in the building has just died off as well. They're into this game up to their eyeballs. Only trailing by 6, but haven't quite got the atmosphere, the excitement in the building.
Needs something to get them going. Trey Cal trying to provide it.
Well, they've clawed their way back here just in this last minute or so.
Yeah.
A little bit of an improved effort at the defensive end. And Trey Cal and DJ Vasiljevic in particular being aggressive, making plays offensively, and they're eating into this Taipan lead.
Down by 11 after the Snakes scored the first 3 buckets of the half. Trailed by as many as 12 throughout the course of the game. First 5 minutes of this third term has flown by. Been up and down basketball.
Not a lot of whistles. And because there's just hasn't been quite the intensity on the defensive end.
Should say most of the basketball is up and down, but it's been up and down at a bit quicker pace.
It is how the game works. And Bobby Klintman, my goodness, checks in off the bench, first possession, strides his way into the paint and finishes over the top.
He's really having a night out is Bobby Klintman, showing all his wares. DJ again from downtown and one!
Well, this has got the DC fans up and about, as it should. The opportunity for a 4-point play.
On the Harvey Norman replay, they are hoping that DJ's the superhero tonight. DJ Vasiljevic, 1 shot. Not much he can't do in terms of behind the line. What about at the line? No stress.
Well, he joins Bobby Klintman in that 20-point territory. He's got a team high 21 now. Vasiljevic.
Miller clanks that one off the back of the iron. Cal, Humphries, Marshall, Wiley, Vasiljevic out there. DJ might just go heat check here, working on Klintman. Takes it inside and floats it home. He's putting them on his back.
Feeling it. 9 points in the quarter. And the 36ers back to within a single point.
Trailed by 11 at the start of the term. DJ's got a game-high 23. Klintman. Gaff makes his move, goes reverse again. Oh, beautiful finish and the foul.
A lot of standing around when he caught it on the box. No weak side action whatsoever. And he just rips it to the baseline. And this is really good body control. A lot of contact by Humphries. In fact, he got a lot of ball. Might be a little unlucky to have been whistled for the foul. But a big play for the Cairns Taipans.
Alex Starling checks back into the game. AK Gack rattles in the free throw. So just a steadier for the Taipans after the Sixers have whittled that lead all the way down to 1. Cal turns the corner underneath to Starling, who slams it down.
Great find. Just kept it long enough to fully engage the help defender in a Calder Gack. And found Alex Starling underneath for the easy finish.
Armstrong trying to go with his own acrobatic finish. And the Sixers can tie it up with this possession. Get the feeling DJ White might want a little bit more than that. Create some separation. Can't hit. Armstrong, McCall, Gack, Klintman and Qual. Out there for Adam Ford and the Taipans. 3 minutes remaining in this third period. Armstrong goes baseline, tosses it away. Vasiljevic with the steal. Brings it up the floor, gets inside and ties the ball game. And trying to fire this Adelaide Entertainment Centre crowd up. Timeout Cairns. 2:49 remaining in the third. We are tied at 77.
Well, in the right place at the right time on the defensive end. He's good enough to pinch that one, and then he's been good at just finding his way into the middle of the paint and finishing it around the rim. 25 points for DJ on 9 of 18 from the field, including a very healthy 3 of 7 from the three-point line.
Snooze timeout in this Adelaide Entertainment Centre. It's really awakened in the last couple of moments.
I've really liked with Vasiljevic the way he's mixed it up offensively. You know, hasn't just let it fly from long range. He's looked good when he and Trey Keller put it on the deck and attacked the paint.
So 77 apiece, 2:49 left in this third period, and all of a sudden, Case, this crowd has really come to life.
That's right, Joel. I'm here on Celebrity Row as well. We've got Zoe Bettison, the Tourism and Multicultural Minister, with her husband, Isaac. A couple of famous Port Adelaide players there. I want to get down to the AFLW superstar. This is Anne Hatchard, along with her wife, Georgie. But this man here, Alir from Port Adelaide, younger brother, Akech, is on the Adelaide 36ers roster. Do you think he's going to be a better athlete?
I think he probably might be, to be honest. He's just got a little bit of time, but he'll get there.
Will the 36ers win from here?
I think we'll get it done. We're starting to heat up now, so hopefully get the job done.
Hope you're right. Thanks for your time.
Good on you, Case. Couple of famous faces there. And Hatchard, runner-up in the Crows, best and fairest in the AFLW last night. Couldn't sneak into the All-Australian team. Travesty, I'll get off my soapbox. 77 apiece. Here's McCall in the corner. Foul on the way through.
They just lacked a little bit of movement in the last 3 or 4 minutes for the Cairns Taipans. They've gone more to their flex action. They had great success with their flex action against Melbourne United. Haven't seen it as much here tonight in the third. And I think this is Adam Ford just trying to get a little bit more movement in his team in the half court.
Would that be matchup related in why they haven't gone to it earlier, Drewy?
Well, possibly, and just the way things were going, they were going really well. They were shooting the ball well, creating good looks, and now they're just getting a little stagnant. And give Adelaide some credit. The last 3 or 4 minutes, things have picked up for them on the defensive end.
So 77 apiece. The Sixers have really rushed back into this game. Starling underneath, hits, and will go to the line to add the bonus as the Sixers are back in front.
Wow. They really worked their way through that possession. Adelaide, and Starling knew late in the shot clock there, it fell to him to make the play. Now, Adam Ford felt like he travelled on a couple of occasions. When he first made his move, when he went to work around the rim, but in the end, scored through the contact, and they're now in the lead.
You can unlock the ultimate fan experience this season. It's all free through NBL Plus. It powers up your NBL experience with access to in-depth stats, classic NBL moments, partner offers, and much more. Sign up for NBL Plus free via the NBL app or NBL.com.au. Foul underneath as the Sixers come back the other way. 3-point lead for Adelaide. So the Cairns Taipans back on the offensive end. The biggest lead of the game for Adelaide is this 3 points. They have not been in charge for very long whatsoever. Add that to the tidbit file for the evening, which is growing. Here's Armstrong trying to make his move on Vasiljevic, who walls him up. 5 on the shot clock now for Armstrong. Needs to do something with it. Finds Klintman, can't get it to go. They'll recycle the possession. It did hit the iron on the way through. 3-ball from Quoll. Ties it up at 80.
Oh, Vasiljevic had Armstrong in the terror dome. He did. For a lot of that possession, Quoll said, well, enough of that. Let me just drain this from long range.
Nick Marshall goes behind the back once and then tried twice, and Armstrong was called for the reach.
Thanks, foul. Bonus 2.
In the bonus, so Marshall will go to the line to shoot a couple.
Can we switch? No, we're in bonus. We're in bonus.
So 80 points apiece. Trailed by 11 earlier in the term, the Adelaide 36ers. Week in which they got rid of CJ Bruton as coach. They had the travel fight, of course, with the comments made. Sunday Detch and Jason Kadee haven't seen any court time tonight. Toe Smith Milner we haven't seen either this evening for the Adelaide 36ers. So Detch averaging 16 minutes. Kadee averaging 19 minutes. And Smith Milner averaging nearly 12. So it's a pretty considerable part of the rotation that we haven't seen out there for the 36ers tonight. But they lead by 2 with a minute remaining here in this third period. And they'll get another look as the Taipans turn it over.
And one thing we can say, Joel, and look, there's a lot of water to go under the bridge still in the fourth quarter ahead. But this has been a much improved performance from Adelaide. And off the ball here, Marshall's gone down, and it's... There's a suggestion of low contact from Bull Quoll off the ball.
Ruben to replay centre.
What is he thinking, Bull Quoll? I don't understand. He's renowned for getting into foul trouble. It's out in the open, and it's just completely and totally unnecessary. Now, one of the strengths of Bull Quoll is he is in your face, he's aggressive, he plays hard, he wants to be annoying, but you can't do that.
Now, this began a few possessions ago.
Is there more to it?
Well, no, with him and Mitch McCarron, there was some tangling up, there was some excess physicality, so that was deliberate from Bull Quoll, make no about it. Not just to kind of check a guy defensively, but because there'd been a little going on between the two.
It's going to be upgraded to unsportsmanlike, so it'll be 2 and possession. But this guy's got 3 fouls. He's just hit a 3. He's a very important part of the Cairns Taipans and what they're trying to achieve. And you just can't afford to waste fouls like that.
No, you got it.
That's a brain spifflication from Bull Quoll.
Sorry, a what?
His brain's just been spifflicated.
Goodness gracious me.
Sort of that ABC type stuff coming out in our man. Right there.
Is it letters and words?
As in sort of highbrow type stuff, you know, that some of the other networks...
I actually think that's a bit of a Rex Huntism from back in the day.
Okay.
Potentially Gazy.
Okay.
All right. The destroyation would have been in there as well.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
So 2 for Mitch McCarron and possession for the 36ers after the brain fade from Bull Quoll. I'll go with that to keep it simple for some of you folk.
No, I'm definitely bringing it into the rotation somehow or other.
Do you remember what it was?
Can you spell it?
Spiffification.
Here's McCall. Outside to Miller. Wardenberg again gets that matchup with Vasiljevic, but Miller takes it himself and he's fouled by McCarron. Mitch McCarron up to just under 8 minutes now in this ball game. Of course, it started all 13 games previous to this for the 36ers. Trenton Flowers replacing him in the starting lineup for interim coach Scott Ninnis tonight. 2-5 on the road this season, the Snakes. Adelaide 3-3 at home, so 3 of their 4 wins have come in this venue. This one looks like it's going to go right down to the wire. Second leg of our Saturday night doubleheader. 2-point ball game after Miller nets both free throws.
Well, they have not given up the Hungry Jacks to this point. The Taipans at the free throw line, and I'm enjoying the work of both these teams at the stripe. Over the course of this season, so many teams leaving points at the line. These two teams each shooting around 90% on the evening.
And Adelaide don't give you many opportunities at the free throw line. It's one thing they do well, so when you've got them, you've got to hit them. Wiley outside. Vasiljevic with red numbers on the shot clock from way downtown. Can't get it to go. Starling recycles it. He can't hit. And now the shot clock, much like it was on Thursday, is out of play. McCall almost had it poked loose. Almost lost it again. Just got it across half court. 5 now for the Cairns Taipans to operate with. Antonio from downtown hands them the lead heading into 3-quarter time. A 3-ball from Jonah Antonio, and we turn for home with 1 point separating the Snakes and the Sixers. Well, if an offensive showcase is your thing, then we've got you sorted. 169 points between these two teams to 3-quarter time. 18 threes for Mitsubishi Motors. It has been an offensive exhibition at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. And it is 1 point separating the Cairns Taipans and the Adelaide 36ers. 85-84 as we take a look at the minutes played by the Sixers so far tonight.
Yeah, it is, and down the bottom, that's where all the interest lies. Mitch McCarron is, across his career, has been up in the high 20s, and he's only played the 8 minutes. And Jason Kadee and Sunday Detch yet to register. Towie Smith-Milner, as you mentioned, what was it, 11 minutes a game, thereabouts, yet to come in. And I've been saying this the whole time. I think they did have to shorten the rotation. I just wasn't sure which of the personnel it was going to be. Some quality players not seeing some time so far.
Terrific to have you with us. Second leg of a Saturday night doubleheader earlier tonight. Tassie by 17 over New Zealand, and this one is going right down the wire as Jacob Wiley hands the Sixers back the lead to start this final term. Klintman in the corner was fouled. No, he's called for a flop.
Well, he's not just called for a flop, he's called for a tech, given that they had the flop warning earlier, Joel. So there you go. Yeah. Tajir McCall copped the flop warning earlier. And when Klintman went down after the fact, a little too easily right there, he gives up the freebies down the other end.
Well, it's a change. We see Sterling. Oh, gee, there seemed like a little bit of contact, but you're right, he went down really easy. Certainly the contact wasn't severe enough to knock him down to the floor like the way in which he landed.
Jeez, it's hard though when someone's getting into your landing zone while you're shooting.
Well, I think he went by on the right side ever so slightly. It was only marginal contact at best, but you're right. I think it was just the way in which he collapsed and laid on the floor.
Certainly seen them not called. Here's Starling for three. Hasn't hit one this season. Won't be hitting it like that.
Ooh, I think they can get better than that, the 36ers.
Big slingshot got unloaded there. Antonio at the other end. Klintman's on the deck underneath again. This time he got some help.
Well, while he's complaining, he said he flopped again. On the box out by Klintman.
He got two hands in his back, and it looks like a push to me. But we know he's flopping. Okay.
He went right to the mic too, didn't he? Yes. Wiley. He knows who's mic'd up out there on the floor.
14 points for Jacob Wiley tonight. 5 rebounds, 2 assists. He's brought his usual level of effort and intensity and energy. Nearly 9,000 in at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre have loved what he's provided. Miller with the left hand rolls that one home.
That's the third time on the underneath out of bounds they've been able to come up with a easy, simple screen and cut to the basket and get an easy layup.
So 2 buckets in this final term thus far, 2 lead changes.
Yep, blue ball.
Cal tried to go off McCall there and did it successfully, only just.
Well, the big question down the stretch here, fellas, is which of these two teams is going to step up at the defensive end of the floor?
No control settings.
Humphries checks back in, Starling checks out.
Well,
both squads have scored 24 or more in every quarter so far. So can someone step up, get some stops? You heard Mitch McCarron make it very clear during the week about the importance of doing that in order to get what you need. And if one of these teams can keep the other end of the teens over the course of this final quarter, there's a good chance they're going to get the win.
Well, they'll certainly have the advantage, and on the season, that would point to the Cairns Taipans. But when you're at home, different set of circumstances we hear, and that's been very easy for DJ Vasiljevic, and I think they're going to count it for
one shot.
Yep.
Goaltending or some interference on the rim.
So it'll count and 1 to come for Vasiljevic.
It was the foul, the slapping of the board. Again, that's the second time where it really didn't have much of an impact. You just can't do it. No. You can't move the backboard.
He missed the last free throw, but he cans that one, does DJ. So 3 buckets in this final term, 3 lead changes. It's been that kind of night in the second half at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Klintman tosses it out to McCall. Through the lane, beautiful find to Pat Miller.
Great cut. Just beautiful movement off the ball, well timed. It was a broken play. They were making it up on the fly. And Pat Miller was paying attention.
Tied at 89. Marshall, nice find to Humphries. He was on the floor and he offloaded to the big man rolling past. Trading buckets, Adelaide and Cairns. Wardenberg underneath is fouled.
Wow, both teams getting good attack on the rim, and it's the drop-off passes that have been successful. And this is an area that you mentioned, Liam, that both teams shooting it well. 16 of 18. And if you think back to just a couple of nights ago, it was the free throw line that really cost the Cairns Taipans. 12 of 25 from the free throw line against the Sydney Kings on your home deck too. That is going to handicap your prospects when you're shooting it like that. But tonight, they've been able to rectify that problem quickly. 18 of 20 now, 90%. Excuse me, 18 of 21.
So tight.
The Adelaide 36ers, Liam just throwing all sorts of head fakes at me.
No, both teams shooting well from the stripe, and an offensive foul call here on Humphries. We're going the other way.
91 apiece. The Cairns Taipans will have the rock. They're still hovering around in that play-in mix. 7th as they came into tonight.
Timeout. You want a challenge? Yeah.
Now going to have
There's a challenge.
Timeout early in this final term. Have a look at the last play. 91 apiece. So much to like about what this game's going to deliver down the stretch. Trailed by 11 early in that third term after the Taipans came out with a run, the 36ers. They clawed it all the way back, and we've had lead changes and scores tied early in this final term. It's really delivering something.
Well, it's been fun to watch. It's been close. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride in terms of, you know, teams getting out. Certainly the Taipans to double-digit margins, and it tightening back up. Here we get a look at the coach's challenge. Isaac Humphries trying to seal up in the block. Quite able to see it right there, but I tell you, this is going to mean a lot to this Adelaide fan base after the craziness of this past week if they could get up and get this dub.
Coach's challenge is unsuccessful. The offensive foul will stand.
So the coach's challenge on that last play, unsuccessful. So both teams have had an unsuccessful. Scott Ninnis wanted to look at the call on Isaac Humphries on that occasion.
And it's the extension of the arm by Isaac that brought him undone. When it happened in real time, you kind of understood why Scotty Ninnis may have thought it was challenge worthy, but here it is. There's a lot of contact off the ball down low. See Isaac, he's extended it, but as he tries to front it, it was the left arm, and even that wasn't really hard to see from that angle. It's the push off with the left arm that they called the foul.
You see a play like that, and it all happens so quickly, and there's so much bumping and shoving. Tough job refereeing.
Scotty Ninnis called it straight away. A lot of the teams, they'll refer to go to their guy on the video. They do have personnel sitting right behind the coaches that reviews the plays, but now both coaches have used their challenges. That no longer will be relevant.
Wardenberg, nice finish. Gets that one to roll home, and the Taipans hit the front again. 93-91. Bit of a mess at midcourt. DJ Vasiljevic finds himself with the rock. Guarded by Mayen, steps back. Can't connect. He's so dangerous in those situations.
He is, but a lot of the times it sticks in his hands a lot. I'd like to see him throw it and go get it back rather than just dribbling it out for those tough ones. And on the glass, the Cairns Taipans making big plays when it matters most.
He said he needed to get others involved. DJ didn't have an assist last week, just the one tonight. He's got 25 points to lead the ball game in terms of scoring. Cal tried to go behind the back through the lane. He lost the handle. But will stay with the Sixers. 6:36 remaining.
Meanwhile, an almighty double-double has been put together here by Tajir McCall. He has notched up the most amount of assists by any single player in a single game this season. He's got the 13 points and the 13 assists with still 6 minutes to play.
Wiley underneath gets that to go.
Yeah, he's a handful. And down the stretch, getting to the basket, he's had good coordination with the cutters. It's been able to find people.
McCall getting Mayan involved. That won't go. They keep it alive. And that's going to go back the other way. So the Sixers force the turnover. 11 from the Snakes tonight. They've had 7 steals, Adelaide. They're averaging just over 4 coming into tonight. So the extra pace and aggression that they've played with has translated to that defensive end as well as, well, in terms of a turnovers battle, maybe not in terms of a scoreboard for Scott Ninnis and his crew, because they've given up 95 and there's plenty of time remaining. No friendly roll for Wiley. Tajir McCall, as Liam said, he's done a superb job setting the table, and Sam Wardenberg pulls up a chair and says, let's eat.
That's a big hit from Wardenberg. And a 14th assist from McCall. He is putting together a monstrous line.
And a Snakes ball as Wiley steps outside. Take a look at the Harvey Norman replay of Sam Wardenberg's triple.
It is, the confidence. Didn't hesitate to catch and shoot. It was a late closeout, but it wasn't a poor one. And he's good enough to make it.
2 of 2 from downtown tonight, Sam Wardenberg. Hasn't been shooting it particularly well of late either. So good to see him find his rhythm back from downtown. 5-point lead to the Snakes. Vasiljevic inside. Galloway tries to tip it home. Wiley keeps it alive. Kell the step back. That one is well short. McCall's a little bit sore at the other end. Gee, doesn't stop.
They had a numerical advantage on defense there. It was 5-on-4, and still able just to get to the right side of the cup and make a relatively easy play. Here it is down here, and that's just a... Yeah, you've got to do a better job. Galloway's got to take away that middle, but needed to get some bodies in there, help out. DJ needed to dig in.
So Bull brings up the triple. Let's listen in to Scott Ninnis.
Keep taking your shots confidently, but don't just can't live on the 3-point line as well. Penetration, get to the rim, okay? Get on the free throw line. Once again, we've got to make a stand at this end of the court. 1 through 4, we're switching, but we've got to communicate. Every time we have miscommunication, we're giving up something easy. Let's go, here we go. 6
So Scott Ninnis, get to hear a little bit of his insights, wanting to stay aggressive, but the notable feature in that was we've got to make a stand on this end of the floor, meaning the defensive end of the floor.
My word, we just saw Brett Maher, one of the legends, the Brett Maher court they're playing on. But he's not wrong, and also the fact that they've been poor from the 3-point line all season, and again tonight just 5 of 20. But it's been the turnovers, the last couple of possessions when they've thrown it in or attacked the rim, they've come up empty, and down the other end, 14 of 27, 52% from the 3-point line for the Cairns Taipans.
Third time the Sixers have given up triple figures this season. Second time the Snakes have got there. 7-point game. Cairns ball. Klintman with the find inside through the hands of Qual.
Oh, it was a good pass. Qual frustrated. Knew that one hit him right in the hands underneath the cup.
So Klintman with 22, 19 points for Miller. McCall's got the 13 points and the 14 assists. Here's McCarron outside. He couldn't hit. He set the tone at training on Thursday. No uncertain fashion. Stayed, kept his place in the rotation with lesser minutes tonight. Armstrong's out there for the Snakes now. Klintman on the catch, makes his move to the cup. Wiley corrals the rebound. 4 minutes remaining in the ball game. Sixers with a 7-point deficit to make up. Vasiljevic just chucks it at the rim. Then Humphries does the same. His hits, and he'll go to the line.
Well, right now, the second shot's a strong option for them. They've got a size advantage with Humphries in the game, and they're making the most of it. A lot of yellow, orange bodies around there, but Humphries in the right place at the right time, and he'll go to the free throw line potential, three-point play.
And it was a smaller lineup that Adam Ford had on the floor. He had no Menenga, Wardenberg, or a Calder Gak. And that's the risk. You're going to get hurt on the offensive glass. Humphries was too big, too strong down there.
22 points for Isaac Humphries. Can't add to it, but it'll stay in Sixers colours.
Scotty Ninnis in this crunch time. He's dialed up Trenton Flowers as well.
Who has had a tough one.
Yeah.
He got some early fouls, and that means he's been in and out of the lineup a little bit.
Going to keep the faith with him, though. Humphries, Cal, Wiley, Flowers, Vasiljevic out there for Scott Ninnis at this stage of the game. And the Bentry pass from Cal's taken away by Quoll.
Jeez, it was never on.
And if you got the size advantage there and you had him pinned, you throw that up in the air, not the low bounce pass.
More traffic than South Road on a Friday afternoon. And that was just never going to happen.
Well, here you see Bill Quoll getting around, and at this point, that pass isn't available.
Terrible pass.
As he's getting around, you need a flash to the elbow, high-low action, and you'll get something towards the rim. Meanwhile, Pat Miller, just the veteran savvy, knew he had the younger defender out of position, and he's off to the stripe for the bonus.
5 of 6 there tonight.
Well.
Would he give away burgers at this stage of the game? No. The lead is 6. We've seen them come back already. They did it against South East Melbourne last time in this building, the 36ers. It was DJ Vasiljevic, the hero that night. Who will step up tonight for them? And Bull Quoll picks up another foul. He's in disbelief, but he's going to take an early exit.
Smart play by Trey Kell. Bull Quoll up and in and trying to put some ball pressure on, and just the waving of the arms forces the contact and forces the official to make a decision. And they lose one of their better three-point threats.
Well, they bring in Jonah Antonio, so that's not going to be an issue. But the defense, the ability to put him on a Trey Kell as a lock-up defender. So now Tajir McCall has to stride over into that spot.
Just puts a little more pressure on that defense. Vasiljevic trying to put pressure on it. Around and out. Humphries recycles it. Wardenberg swats it.
Big-time block. He has come up with some key plays down the stretch. Here as the weak side defender, bam! Get that out of here. Adelaide with a new possession, 12 on the shot clock.
3 minutes remaining in the ball game. Sixers looking for a 5th win of the campaign. DJ inside, can't hit. Catches his own miss. Somehow able to get it up again and was fouled. A little bit of a bobble underneath there from DJ. No call. And he takes a big hit.
I think a lot of you guys were pushing each other.
In the end, it was on Sam Wardenberg, University of Miami on University of Miami. And the ball in these crucial minutes down the stretch here, Drew, just starting to stick a little bit.
It is.
Dejan Vasiljevic's hand.
Yeah, I called it a little while ago, and it's not just new to this game. Now, the intention is great. He's got the courage and the conviction, and most importantly, the skill to take matters in his own hands. But sometimes that he's forced into very tough shots because of the shot clock and it getting down so low. And that one there ahead of a travel, but just the lack of the bobbling of the ball, the little deflection saved him from a travel.
Season best 30 points for DJ now.
And he has been very good. 100%, 30 points, as you say.
Volume shooter.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a tick under 40% from the field on the night. But, you know, Isaac Humphries is available on those rolls to the rim, and there are some other guys out there on the floor who have put some points on the board tonight.
So back to a 4-point game. 2.5 minutes remaining. The Sixers desperate to get back on the winners list. McCall from the mid-range.
That's, again, just, there's pressure, but thinking, I'm so concerned about the drive just give him enough space that he feels confident enough to be able to let it fly without too many problems.
And DJ left it behind. And McCall in the open court. Flowers got a piece of it. Taj lays it home. And he loves it.
Well, he should. And this is yet another example of DJ playing around with it rather than getting some ball movement. Just trying to go one-on-one again. And the crossover hits the foot and leads to a turnover.
Got him on the head.
And an N1 opportunity.
Loves it.
I'm not suggesting that he shouldn't be the man, DJ, for taking the shots, but it's how you collectively create opportunities for him rather than just throwing him the ball and saying all the very best. Loosen up the defense.
See stat line there, Taj McCall, 18, 3 and 14 assists tonight. Hell of a performance. 2 minutes remaining. Sixers with a 9-point deficit to make up. Wiley across the lane. Can't float it home. Humphries got a hand in but can't collect.
They've gone very individual down the stretch here. If it was not Vasiljevic, there it was Wiley. Just roll it in and say, make us a play.
No real semblance of a system at this stage. Miller in attack mode. Fades away and connects. Scott Ninnis has seen enough. 11-point lead again for the Snakes. They pushed it out back beyond double digits. And it's going to be a very difficult minute and a half from here for the Sixers.
It's a tough one. And you heard in that last time out with Scott Ninnis, he wanted to switch 1 through 4. That is positions 1 through 4. Isaac Humphries are 5. The reason why he only wanted 1 through 4 was that last play. He gets there, he's got him on skates, and he can just create his own shot and goes up, and for him, a relative easy one.
Led by as many as 12 in the ball game. The Snakes, they led by 11 early in that third period. Sixers ran it down. And now Adam Ford just trying to put the finishing touches on a victory.
Here is that last play you were talking about, Drewy, that just put the Taipans out beyond 10. As you say, the instruction, we heard it in that timeout previously, was to switch 1 through 4. Humphries is the 5-man. So, not switching there was the instruction. Miller got the big man on an island, danced his way to a mid-range pull-up.
The execution, and I'm not making excuses for Scott or the Adelaide 36ers, but the reality of it is you've got a new coach. He's only had probably 2 days of trying to put in place his schemes, but where it's been exposed right now is in these last 4 or 5 minutes, the execution has been poor down the stretch. It's led to turnovers where they haven't had a lot of turnovers in the game, but some real costly ones.
Still time on the clock. 89 seconds to play. Oh, geez, he did get away with the travel. Need a score here.
What can Cal create? Foul going across the lane. And it'll stay a Sixers ball. Let's go courtside. John Casey.
Joel, this has been some sort of display from Tajir McCall tonight with that performance. 14 assists. You have to go back 10 years to find a player who's had more assists in a game when Nate Tomlinson had 15 for the Melbourne Tigers here against Adelaide. But the all-time 40-minute record is held by Damien Keogh, who had 17 assists for the Nunawading Spectres against the Devils back in 1983.
Jeez.
We had a few 1983 records last week with the 36ers. It's obviously a very prominent year in NBL history.
Mighty Melbourne Tigers yet to make their debut.
They found their way in to the conversation.
Back in 84 is when the league really started to kick on.
9-point lead, minute 7 remaining. Pat Miller trying to put the icing on the cake. And it's looking pretty tasty for Taipans fans.
And they got the matchup they wanted. It's exactly the same one. Had Isaac Humphries trying to guard him, and that's tough for any big man.
The Sixers aren't going away without a fight. It's their highest score of the season. It's also the highest score they've given up this season at 110 for the Snakes. Miller goes back to work. Underneath to McCall. Got Humphries in the air and got the call.
So we asked the question earlier in this quarter, who was going to step up at the defensive end? And Drew, you said, well, the most likely scenario is it's the Taipans who get that done. Adelaide with 17 points in this quarter. The first team to score less than 24 over the course of the game in any single term as Humphries fouls out. So they've stepped up, they've got the stops, and then led by this man, have ticked the scoreboard over.
Yeah, he's been special. And not just with the passes. I wish that he's been able to knock down some shots himself. And it's, wow, why wouldn't you?
He wasn't interested in giving away burgers to this Adelaide crowd. Cal on the roll. Can't hit. McCall with the rebound. And after all kinds of chaos on Thursday night, Cairns are going to emerge from a big old fight with this 36ers team with another win in their back pocket as they head to far north Queensland. The lead back to an equal game high 12. Antonio for three to finish it. One for the road from Jonah Antonio. And he says, good night, Adelaide. And caps a 15-point Taipans win.
Oh, my. Wow. Geez, an ugly way to finish for the 36ers. New coach Scott Ninnis roaring at his players to get back as the Taipans ran up the score to close this one out.
Well, percentages can come into play. I have no problem with that whatsoever. You got to continue to play it out. And I think that nothing wrong with what the Cairns Taipans did then at all.
We saw it with Melbourne United and the 36ers last year. It was one bucket that ended.
Correct.
That counted at the end of the season. So you take all you can get.
And big credit to the Taipans. That's a very good win. But Scott Ninnis, that'll be the message, fellas. We were good for most of the game, but you got to play it out. You got to play it for the full 40 minutes, and you got to play it right to the final buzzer. But look at an improved effort from Adelaide over the course of, you know, certainly those first three quarters, but led by DJ McCall. What a line! 19 points, 15 assists, and 4 steals. Pat Miller was also fantastic with a team high 26, and Bobby Klintman, those 20 first half points set the table for the Taipans.
And just a little bit of an illustration on the finish for the Sixers as well. So that's the highest score for the Snakes this season. It's the highest score for the Sixers this season, but that was the biggest lead of the game. 15 points is the biggest lead of the game. So what it finished at with that fade out late from Adelaide, that was the biggest that it got throughout the contest.
Well, that's right, and we've spoken about their execution on the offensive end, and a lot of that was what led to almost indefensible situations down the other end, and to give up 116 points, you're not going to win too many games giving up that number.
Let's go to Case.
Thanks very much, Joel. I've got DJ McCall here, Foot Locker player of the game, $250 coming your way. But that's one hell of a performance. You'd lost 4 of your last 5 coming in here. Highest score of the year. You really made a statement.
Yeah, 4 of the last 5, we was down in the first quarter and had to battle back. So our big thing was a big start for us and a fresh start. And, just keep building, and we've been doing that, so it's a good game.
Most assists we've seen by a player in a game in the NBL for 10 years. You really turned it on?
Nah, that's not me. That's the guys. They was making a lot of shots. I'm just passing it to them, and they making the shots, so it's really them. I just thank them.
You were semi-finalist last year, got so close. Do you think you can do that again?
Of course, that's the plan coming in. That's what we plan for and practice for. It's not going to happen today or tomorrow, but in the future, we hope to be playing the right basketball and get in there, and then whatever happens, happens. But we think we can do that for sure.
We noticed you doing a lot of talking in the huddles. We know you've coached the team in the past. You really embrace that leadership role, don't you?
Yeah, I've been around. I learned a lot from 40 and the people that I've been around. And the guys trust me and listen to me, and I see a lot, and I care about the right things, and they know that. So it's easy for me when the guys believe in me.
And Bobby Klintman tonight, his first half, outstanding.
That's I told him, man, he the reason a lot of games, even the last game, he picked us up with energy, shots. He just come in with that dog in him, and we need that every game, and he getting better and better, and it's going to be up to ceiling after that.
Appreciate your time. Well played.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
John Casey with the Foot Locker player of the game, DJ McCall. He put on a spectacle tonight.
And the Cairns Taipans win it 116 to 101. We'll break it all down next. So a 15-point win to the Cairns Taipans in the end, and a virtuoso performance from Tajir McCall. In the end, 19 points, 15 assists. He was setting the table. He was doing the work himself. An outstanding performance as we take a look at our Hungry Jacks highlights. Liam and Drewy, that was the best of Taj McCall.
And some of these passes you see, he's in traffic. You know, he's a risk-reward sort of guy. I think he's the type of guy you've got to live with a few of his errors because he can do so much, and down the stretch he was huge. And not only was he passing the ball, he also made some big shots. That little mid-ranger that we saw 3 or 4 minutes to go was a big play. So he's a fantastic player and fun to watch.
A big day of hoops coming your way tomorrow as well. Of course, we lead the list with Melbourne United and Brisbane. Liam, you'll be on the call of that one.
Excited for it. Very much so. Melbourne trying to bounce back from that loss to Cairns, and Brisbane, I think they're going to take some big scalps over the course of the second half of this season. So very much looking forward to that one.
And then, of course, the second leg, Drewy, the Kings and the Phoenix.
Big one. There's the Sydney Kings. They got to win, but they've been giving up some leads. Looked a little shaky down the stretch. They're a quality team, and the Phoenix is a big chance for them to make a statement with a big week for them as well.
Absolutely. Will Cummings no longer with that team, of course. Thanks for your company tonight. Second leg of a doubleheader, and we got plenty of entertainment down the stretch. In the end, Cairns led by 15 points. It was as big as the lead got throughout the course of the evening. Might not have flattered the Adelaide 36ers, who put in an impressive performance. On behalf of myself, Liam Santamaria, Andrew Gage, John Casey, all of our hard-working team here, thanks for your company. Big Sunday of hoops coming your way tomorrow.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.
Yeah, I was just explaining that, two different voices are going to be two different levels, so that was all.